good morning. So, I think we were discussing last time the various steps involved in real finite element analysis, and I told you that because we will not be able to derive the exact force deformation relation or force displacement relation of the element if the element is complex. For that, I think we said the first thing is that we have to establish a variation of function, variation of your displacement field within the element. So, I think we studied Reed's method, how to express, and then I also showed you how it can be obtained using your polynomials. So, because these nodal functions are more convenient and they are understood by people, so any function can be expressed in terms of nodal parameters if there is. So, that is, and then these multipliers have a significance and that they look like this and they are called shape functions. So, first step in finite element is always you establish the displacement field, and you establish displacement field, that means you establish n matrix, shape function matrix first. So, for example, this two noded problem we have established the n, and then I told you after all any elastic problem you have the body gets strained after loads are applied. So, you find out from the assumed displacement strains, and then the derivative of shape function, this matrix is called strain matrix, and we denote it by B. So, then you establish your B matrix, because once n is known, B is simply the derivative of that. So, this is 2. And then the third step is the constitutive relation, material constitutive relation. What is the material of the problem that you are dealing with? And we know for any elastic continuum, stress at any point is related to strain at the same point by a matrix SRE, which we also call C. E is the inverse of S, C is also inverse of S, and so you have to establish this matrix, C matrix or E matrix. So, you should know what is the material of your, and this we are talking of. So, for example, in a one dimensional rod problem, axial rod problem, you have a strain, if this is the point P x. So, you have the stress and strain at this point, the displacement vector is u x, and this stress and strain they are related by this simple relation sigma x equal to E times epsilon x. So, this is becomes only a scalar, otherwise it will be a 6 by 6 matrix or 3 by 3 matrix depending upon the type of problem that you are handling. Once you know this, then of course, strain is B times D. So, you can express your stress also in terms of, so basic approach or basic stress is always express all the basic quantities which describe the behavior of any elastic continuum in terms of nodal parameters, stress, strain, displacement, everything in terms of nodal quantities. Nodal D vector is my nodal quantity vector, nodal displacement vector. Then obviously, because in elasticity you have 3 sets of equation, strain displacement, constitutive relation, stress strain law, and third one is equilibrium. Now, I think that is where I was discussing last time was equilibrium, and then I showed you these 3 diagrams which are very important in understanding the kind of equilibrium that we are interested in. Of course, we are talking always of stable equilibrium, not neutral or unstable. So, these are the 3 states of equilibrium But for all this, all the three states, the energy, if you take a small variation of the potential energy, the energy of the body, energy of this, the first principle is that the variation of energy, that means it must be variation of the energy. Variation means if I change the position and find out the difference between energy of this and this. So, in order that the body remains in equilibrium, that variation must be set equal to 0, because change, unless you set that equal to 0, you cannot. But here what is happening? It is coming from higher energy to the lower energy. Here there is no change in the energy, because it is at the same level, neutral. So, that is why all the positions have the same energy positions, and they will occupy any position. That is why it is called neutral. But here it is on the top of the hill. So, any disturbed state, here the energy will be less, and this is the maximum energy that it is retaining here at this position. So, maximum energy, if the body has maximum energy in it, then it is in a very dangerous state. It will not be in a stable equilibrium, it will be in unstable equilibrium. So, that is not the kind of equilibrium that our systems need to be put. Our systems must be in this state. All our structural systems or any problem, equilibrium when we are talking. So, first, so there is a principle, so this is an indirect way. I mean, we have already seen how to satisfy equilibrium directly. Write down the equilibrium condition directly of a spring or elastic rod, that we did it. Now, this is a indirect way of satisfying equilibrium, that is based upon energy. First condition is that the potential energy must be minimum. So, there is some principle called principle of minimum potential energy. So, potential energy of a body, in order that it is in equilibrium. In fact, and first is it must be minimum. But which equilibrium? Stable equilibrium, because this is the minimum position, bottommost is the minimum position. So, this is why for stable equilibrium the potential energy must be minimum. So, P is expressed by a notation, by a symbol pi, and for any elastic body, if you do not know this, I think I will urge you to read from books about the energy chapter, any energy methods. So, U is the strain energy of deformation of the body, and W is the work done by external load. So, for example, I will now, let us proceed from here today. So, energy for a simple, let us say we want to take deformable continuum. So, simplest deformable body as simple is a spring. So, let us consider a string having two nodes and 2 degrees of freedom. See, we are doing very simple problems, and then 2 nodal forces which are applied at the, which we have done. We already know the relationship, we have done this problem earlier, that yes, if this is a so what will be the energy of, see how to find out this. This is a system which is in state of equilibrium. This is spring, single spring, and I want to find out what is pi for this. What is potential energy for this? So, first is U. U for this is how to find out U. U is what? See, after all this node is displaced by U1, this node is displaced by U2. So, the net displacement of the spring, net compression or extension of the spring, let us assume everything is positive in the positive x direction. So, this is a positive x direction. So, U2 minus U1 is the net deformation of the spring. So, what will be the energy stored in the spring? This problem you must have done in your physics first year. What is the strain energy? What is the energy stored in the spring? Half k, yes. U2 minus U1 is square. K delta square is the energy. K delta square. So, this is my strain energy stored in the spring U. Now, in the process of deforming the spring, the loads at node P1 nodes at nodes 1 and 2, they have done some work. So, what is the work done by the loads? Work done. After all, this P1 has moved by U1 and it is a full amount, full P1. It is not that you have applied P. See, sometimes you apply a load, this half comes because of that, because the spring will not get compressed or stretched suddenly. It is slowly, even if you apply, so it will, yes, there is slow motion. But the value of P that you are putting is the full P. So, full P is going through a displacement of U. So, P1 into U1 plus P2 into. So, this is the work done by the external forces. So, you have these two quantities written out for you, and therefore, pi for this is U minus, I always write like this, U minus W, strain energy minus work done, and I explained the why minus W comes. Potential energy decreases and work done will be positive. Potential energy increases and work done will be negative, because if W is acting downwards, from this level I am coming to this level, the work done is negative, because this is acting downwards, movement is upwards. Okay. But the potential energy of this body has increased from the datum. So, there is always this negative potential energy, a change in potential energy is negative, positive change is negative of the work done by the external load. So, that is I write like this, but many books write here, they give you a different expression. In fact, when I wrote this, because I am used to this, when I way back in 75, yes, about 30 years ago when I wrote my thesis. So, I wrote this expression, and then the examiner had put a question, why have you written like this? It is not the correct form. This people write it like they call it strain energy. Strain energy will always be positive, energy of deformation. Displace a body, it will get deformed, and then some, we say that energy that is stored in the body. They say there is a term called potential of the load, work done. So, instead of calling work done, they call it plus W P. They use a term W P, and W P they call it. So, this one is work done, and many books, olden books, even new books, people use this W P. They call it potential of the load. So, be careful, potential of the load has a potential. So, potential is negative of work done. So, but I write the simpler way, engineering way of work done. Okay. So, then let us fix this half k U2 minus U1 whole square minus P1 U1 minus P2 U2. Now, minimum potential energy for equilibrium, this potential energy that we have written should be minimum. For equilibrium of the body, for equilibrium of the spring, first of all, yes, this energy, this has to be minimum for stable equilibrium. So, for stable equilibrium, we are pi has to be minimum. So, what is the condition for minimum? You must have done some functional. When is a function? Pi is a function. Pi, we do not call pi, by the way, I will just give you pi. We distinguish between a function. Function is what? A quantity that depends upon so many other quantity is a function. So, a quantity that depends upon the independent coordinate x, y, z is a function, but sometimes a quantity depends upon other functions. Okay, not only independent coordinate, but quantity is dependent on other. It is a function of, for example, pi is a function of P1, P2, U1, U2. So, these are all physical quantities, and plus of course, x is the. So, such quantity we denote, pi is called functional, pi, not only a function. So, it is a function of function. So, pi we denote it are called functional. So, we define a functional. Functional is nothing but function of functions. Is it clear? Functional. So, there is a term called functional. So, pi has to be minimized, first has to be minimum. I do not know what is the condition, but first condition for minimum is that first derivative must be set equal to 0. But that is not minimum, that is the first requirement. Whether it is minima or maxima, first derivative must be equal to set equal to 0. So, first is d, of course, then you have to write down this pi in terms of what. So, pi can be written in. So, and pi will be, see, pi, once we have written this, pi are in terms of nodal displacement. So, minimum means first derivative, first condition is first derivative del pi by del u1 del pi by this is first derivative should be set equal to 0. And what is the second condition? Second derivative also we find out minimum and maximum ke liye. Second derivative should be what? Yes. So, that is important, second derivative. So, you should also second derivative of pi to be checked for ensuring a minima or minimum. Let me write minima is plural, I am talking of only pi here. So, okay, minimum, ensuring a minimum, and it should be second derivative should be positive. Yes, I mean from the diagram this one, see, every time you must relate. To those of you who have, you clarify your fundamentals. Yes, why it should be positive? This pi 1 displaced position, pi 1 is higher potential, this pi 1 lower potential. So, it will have positive only. So, minimum. Okay. Now, for most of the bodies in our system, we know that they are in stable, they are stable. We put proper constraints as engineers, as structural engineers, as civil engineers, we fix the body properly. So, they are already in stable equilibrium. Okay, stability of unless you make some serious mistake, you make a structure unstable, but generally we never put a truss only with a 4 bar. Fifth bar also is put, so that there are 2 triangles, otherwise 4 bar means it will be having a mechanism, it will not be a structure. 4 bars will not make a truss, simple truss, because that is not a stable configuration. Mechanical engineers use it for machine, so they will be, it is a mechanism. So, our things are mostly stable. So, what we normally do, we do not check the second derivative, we just ensure first derivative, but that does not mean that you do not check second derivative. You must keep in mind, yes, second derivative has to be, because that is a requirement for any function to be minimum. So, this condition, so for example, this function we have already got. So, what will be the, now let us try to see, find out the minimum, first derivative. So, what will be d pi by du 1, here is our here is our, yes please, can you give me the derivative? So, it will be k times u2 minus u1, derivative with respect to u1 I am taking, and then it will be with the negative sign, because 2 times this will come. So, 2 times 2 and 2 will get cancelled, and with the negative sign. Is it okay? Negative, because u1 has here. So, derivative of u1 is minus 1, and then here it is minus p1 only. This is 0, partial, it is partial derivative. This is not a function of u1. So, it is only p1. Then del pi by u2 will be what? Again k times u2 minus u1, but then derivative with respect to u2. So, it is a only plus, because u2 has a derivative unity, minus p2. So, this is we have got. Now, let us arrange the terms. So, you get here k times u1 minus k times u2 equal to p1, then k times minus k times u1 plus k times u2 equal to p2. Therefore, I can write this in matrix form, k minus k minus k k u1 u2 equal to p1. What is this? This is the stiffness matrix of the spring. This is Ks, with this we have already done. As spring into D, Ks spring stiffness matrix. So, this is matrix, and then into D equal to P. So, we have established K into D equal to P for the single spring, using, I did not use any stiffness concept that displace the spring one end, keep the one end fixed, other end by unity, find out the force required, which we had done initially. That was a direct method. Now, in order to get the same result, what I have done, I have simply minimized the energy. Of course, second derivative, as I told you, it is insignificant, because we are assuming that. So, first derivative must be set equal to 0. So, we have got this. So, this is indirect way of obtaining equilibrium equations. This is nothing but equilibrium condition. So, this is equilibrium. K d equal to P is equilibrium condition for the spring. Stiffness equation for the spring is nothing but equilibrium equation for the equilibrium condition that spring is remaining in. So, this I have explained only with reference to a very simple problem, but this has got this can be applied in a very complex situation also. So, this principle is very important, and this indirect way of finding out equilibrium, now we have learned this can be applied to many complicated situations, but direct method cannot be used for complicated situation. Direct method can be used only for your framed structures, truss, rigid frame, space truss, rigid space frame, one dimensional we know. Yes, somehow then we can write down all the relations, but the moment you have a continuum, if I have a plate, if I have a 3-dimensional body, I want to write down and then there are certain notes that I prescribe, I want to write down the force displacement relation of this general body, then I will not be able to do it by direct method. So, I will have to use indirect method. So, that is why this indirect method is important. Next, so you have learnt now how to, then just now we have, I am discussing. So, pi is a function of, let us say, 2 variable here. Just now we have seen is a 2 variable u1 and u2. It is a function of 2 variable u1 and u2, and that is why we took derivative with respect to u1, derivative with respect to u2. But you know there is something called total derivative of energy or a function. Total, what is the total change in the function? So, supposing I want to find out total change in pi, I can write that total change as this by chain rule of differentiation. This is a chain rule. There are 2 variables, 2 functions, functional is function of 2 u1 and u2. So, I can, a change in pi can be written like this. You know derivative chain rule, differential calculus, partial differential calculus. Supposing there were n number of variables. So, this series will go up to n. So, this is and this is set equal to 0. For equilibrium, this has to be change in pi. See, this is also either you say minimum, you can interpret things in so many ways. So, I will say change in pi also minimize. First condition is the change from the new position to the equilibrium position, the change you find out, and that must be for equilibrium, this must come to 0. So, this change also. So, this is also minimum potential energy principle. This is more sophisticated way of expressing the same thing, because here we have applied differential calculus. We have made use of our knowledge of differential calculus. So, whatever we have done earlier, that was a very simplistic way. Now, this is a more sophisticated. So, for equilibrium, one condition is this: minimum potential energy principle means, we also call this delta pi. Pi is, by the way, pi is not a vector, pi is a scalar quantity. Energy is always a scalar quantity. Energy cannot be a vector. So, pi is 0. So, let us take another problem, or let us take 2. Let us take two springs. Second, another problem, you take whether you can apply the same thing which we have done earlier. So, there are 3 nodes, 2 two elements. So, it is K 1, this one is K 2, and at each one of the nodes you have applied forces P 1 and the corresponding displacement U 1, P 2, U 2. It is just the extension. Of course, it can always be done, but we will get the, we will see that yes, we will get the our known result, but basic idea is yes, it is possible to do this systematically. So, let us write down U for this system. What is U? Stray energy equal to half plus what is the net displacement of spring 2? U 3 minus U 2. So, this is your energy, and what is work done is P 1 U 1, P 2 U 2, So, therefore, the pi for this is same, I mean minus minimize. Minimize means I set this equal to 0, and this also means, of course, just now we have, I am just repeating because so that you remember this times plus del pi by, because there are only two dependent quantities here, U 1 and U 2. So, I can now, when will this expression be 0? Because change in these are virtual quantities, we will bring in, since delta U 1 and U 2 are virtual quantities, they cannot be 0, and therefore, we get the same relation which we had. You will have to technically, you will have to do the same thing, U 1 equal to 0 and delta pi by 1. What about U 3? What about U 3? I have not written U 3, I should write also U 3, because there has to be also, sorry, here delta pi by okay, since itna, and also this U 3 cannot be 0. So, you have to set, you will get 3 equations. You will have to set this. So, can you what will you get after doing all this algebra? You will have to write down 3. So, let us just do the first one. I mean, let us see, because I want you to see it for yourself. So, this is delta pi by del u 1 is how much? This is your pi. I think it is clear. So, with respect to u 1, so it is k 1 u 2 minus u 1, and with respect to u 1 with the negative sign. Here with respect to this energy, there is no u 1 here in this expression. There is no u 1. So, it is 0, and here there is no u 1, there is no u 1. So, minus p 1. Del pi by u 2 plus, but u 2 is here also. So, that will be here derivative of this with respect to u 2. So, with a negative sign. So, I have put a negative sign here. So, it will become k 2 u 3 minus u 2, yes, and minus p 2 del pi by u 3. This is not a function of u 3. So, here only is u 3. So, you get k 2 u 3 minus u 2 with a positive sign minus p 3. So, we got 3 equations. By the way, these are called 3 discrete equations. These equations are, why we will call this discrete? I want to introduce a word discrete, D-I-S. Yes, discrete. Is opposite of continuous. Discrete. Discrete means values only at certain points, or whatever data is available only at certain points, not continuously. So, discrete. So, this why it is discrete? Because there are only 3 variables, u 1, u 2, u 3. We have taken down 3 nodal quantities. So, these are my u 1, u 2, u 3 are my discrete quantities. I am measuring my displacements only at 3 points. There could have been more points, but here I have chosen only 3 points. So, these are my discrete equilibrium equation. Discrete. So, this will form my discrete equilibrium equation. Can I now write it in matrix form? Yes, this one, 3 equations. Yes, what will be in matrix form, please? 3 by 3 matrix. 3 by 3 matrix will be what? So, this equilibrium equation is not a continuous equilibrium equation, not a continuum equilibrium equations, it is a discrete, because we have discretized the problem. Why we have discretized? So, right hand side is P 1, P 2, P 3. These are P 1, P 2, P 3 right hand side. Here I want coefficients of u 1, u 2 and u 3. 3 rows. So, first one k 1 plus minus plus minus k 1 u 3 coefficient 0. Second one minus k 1, there is no other u 1. So, minus k 1 U2, coefficient of U2 is here also K1, and here also U2 has a coefficient of plus K2, minus and minus plus into U2 and then plus K1 into U2. So, K1 plus K2, there is summation at node 2 K1, and U3 is minus K2 minus K2 multiplied by U3. Third equation, there is no nothing of U1, no multiplier of U1, minus K2 and plus K2. Now you tell me, I have not cut the springs, I have not done force displacement relation of the springs anyway. I have used a energy principle, I have used minimum potential energy principle, I have minimized my energy, and I have got the same equation that we got earlier. So, for two springs, this is the discrete equilibrium equation. There is assembly, so it is already assembled equation. It is already, you already know how to assemble. Normally, we never do this, we never take a big system and find out this. We will do only element by element, and then we do the assembly. So, this is the stiffness matrix force displacement relation of two springs. Okay. Now, graduate from springs, because we have two axial rod, and using this principle how to. So, now you do not take something continuous system, axial rod. This was a spring, discrete spring. Now, so we have a body which is consists of number of, and one element looks like this. It is a elastic body. There are two distinct nodes. Again, the result will be very similar, but you can guess the result, but only thing is slight computation of energy will be different. So, this is, let us assume that area of cross section, modulus of elasticity and length of this is like this. So, Anubhav Bairati, you are sleeping. I also wanted to get up today at 5:30, but then I slept at 1:30. So, I put an alarm, yeah. But see, body is such something that needs some rest. So, although I said last night before going to sleep, because I had to finish something, so I came to department, so it became 1:30. So, anyway I finished. So, went home and then slept and put an alarm at 5:30, because I wanted to leisurely take bath and everything, and then come here, take my breakfast, but that did not happen. The alarm rang, and I got up only at I think okay. So, I got up at about I think 7:15 or something, because the alarm was had already been. So, this is what happens, because sometimes we are forcing our body to work against the nature's law. So, this does not happen. I think we need 6 hours of sleep. Okay, 8 hours. It's comfortable, but anyway 6 to 8 I can be as you age. So, this is Huh? Bhai. Achha, this one is slow by 5 minutes. Still. Okay, axial rod, but axial rod will take it up. Now, why don't you do this exercise? You also, you do this axial rod. Shall I leave it? Okay, I will leave it. I will take it as read and taught, axial rod. And now then I will go to the next, because we assume in this curriculum that 25% of the things should be, we should give you to read on your own. We cannot cover all the 100%, so only 75% we are supposed to cover. The remaining 25% you are supposed to read on your own.